Spring is in the air, and that means garage sale and yard sale season has begun, at least where I live. I live in the Tulsa, Oklahoma area, and it's 70 degrees in the daytime most of the time. And on Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays and sometimes Thursdays, people are starting to have garage sales. Garage sales, I would say garage sales and flea markets are definitely the best place to buy items the way I like to buy them. Flea markets are kind of really interesting if you get the right one, but there are several kinds. And I don't know if we'll go into that here or not in the group, but I pretty much shop at garage sales 3 months a year, 4 months a year, and that's it. The rest of the year, I just sell the things that I've gotten in these 3 or 4 months. Plenty to get. I also prefer the garage sale because, as I've said in the group before, and I kind of teach this way of doing eBay, I'm an everything seller, and it's where I find the cheapest items at a garage sale. That's where you'll find the cheapest items at a garage sale. Again, a flea market can be an exception to that, but only if it's the right kind of flea market. So I need to start letting you know more about things to source because some of you might be fairly new or you're not finding enough to sell. Now, a lot of what I sell is on consignment. I have a special way of doing consignment that I'm going to teach you all about. But let's talk about what is immediately available to you, at least at the time of this recording. All over America, at least, there are garage sales starting up. And so this is your time to shine. This is anytime, every single Friday morning, Saturday morning that I go out, I call it buying some money. I'm going to go buy some money. I'm telling my wife, I'm leaving to buy some money. And I literally am doing that. I'm going to a garage sale to buy money, to pay pennies on the $5 and $10 bills. Literally. I just don't like to spend much on inventory. I have in the past spent $300 for items to resell. I will continue to do that if the resale value is worth it. But in general, I don't like to do that. In general, and I will press the buy button immediately if it is a $1,000 item that I can buy for $300 for sure. I'm not stupid, but that's not really my bag. It's not what I do. I like to find hidden treasures out in plain sight at garage sales. And that's where you're going to find everything. Now, I don't like to go through and do a lot of sourcing videos. I'm not one to really do a live video of me at a garage sale. There are a bunch of people that do that. I started to say better than I will. They probably aren't doing any better than I am, but they certainly are better at making those types of videos. That's not really the stress here. But in this group, I do want to teach you a little bit about sourcing, about how to find things and what things to buy. I've done 2 already. I did a sourcing video on brass and something else. I don't remember what it was right now. But I'm going to do more. But I want to show you sourcing, how to source things that most resellers are not sourcing. I want you to find things that most resellers just walk right by. I want them to be arguing over the antique clock, and you're in here cleaning up by paying pennies on the $10 bills for the things that you source. But I'm not going to just start telling you that I want you to buy a specific brand of VCR, because that doesn't help you. I want you to learn categories of what to resell. That's why I told you about brass in general. And I taught you a little bit about the low ends and the high ends of brass and what to look for. But in general, brass is a good category right now of things to resell because it can almost always bring at least $12, $15, $20. And it's almost always priced at like a quarter, 50 cents, maybe $1 at garage sales. Even estate sales, they don't price brass very well, very high. They don't know that it's worth a lot more than they price it at. So that's great. Let's talk about some things that I saw today and why I picked them up. And did I do comps on my phone or anything? No. Did I know everything that I was buying to resell? Not specifically, but I know in general categories to buy. Pull it up here. This skillet, this is a Farberware skillet, vintage skillet, probably at least 20 years old and probably more like 30. Now, anytime that you see a skillet, skillets sell if they're name brand. You want a skillet that is Farberware or GE or some others, but the one thing that you want to make sure that you do, and this is especially for you men, you want to make sure the power cord is with it. And the power cord is pretty important because you can't sell it for as much if it doesn't have the cord, because the buyer's going to have to find a cord somewhere, and they don't just have those lying around. They usually buy them on eBay. You can find a power cord for a skillet that you bought without the cord. You can find the power cord on eBay, and that way you can sell it as a set. But that lends the reason as to why I'm telling you about this skillet. It's not because it's Farberware. It's not because the skillet will resell for $30 to $60, but I did open the pan, and as you can see here, the power cord is inside. Now, this power cord for these skillets is sort of unique. You notice that long prong, that pointed prong there at the end. That's kind of what you're used to seeing on skillets, on especially older 70s, 1980s, 1990s skillets. Maybe they still do these. I don't know. I don't know anything about new skillets or anything because I don't want to resell something that's brand new. There's not enough money in it. But this skillet was for sale for $1.50. I opened the lid and I saw the power cord. So I said, yeah, $1.50 sold. I grabbed it real fast before someone else saw it and grabbed it. Now, I didn't look it over to see if it was in great condition or anything. So I get it home and I turn it over, and you can see it's pretty badly stained on the bottom, pretty badly stained. If I don't clean this skillet, it will not sell for as much. I would say $7, $8, $9 less if I don't try to clean this stain off. I'm not worried about that. I probably might not even do that. I might, or actually my wife will. She's the one that cleans. I don't even know where our kitchen is, but I'm a man. But okay, so she will probably do a little cleaning on this, a little scrubbing, and if it comes off easily, great. She's going to clean it up. It'll look marvelous. If it doesn't clean up, then we will decide, do we sell the skillet for less or do we work harder to clean it? And the answer to that will be no, we don't do either. What we're going to do is part it out. Remember I said if you buy a skillet without a power cord, you can buy the power cord on eBay? Well, this Farberware power cord goes from $20 to $30. The whole skillet only goes for $60. The power cord goes for $30 sometimes. For an account such as mine, I can probably get $29.95 for this cord. Wow. Well, that's a whole lot easier than mailing the whole skillet. Now, it's only half the money, but it also means my wife doesn't have to break her back scrubbing this terrible stain off the back just to eke out another $7, $8 of selling price. Plus, we don't have to pack up this heavy, huge skillet. This thing is huge. Plus, the handle just makes it even harder to box it properly and all of that. Plus, the legs will sell individually. These legs for this Farberware skillet they sell each for about $8.99 a piece. They're real hard to get off. You get a flathead screwdriver and you just unscrew the legs. I mean, that's it. Unscrew the two handles, the long handle and the little short handle on the other side. They both sell by themselves. You can part this skillet out and the little knob on top of the lid, it will sell, although I don't recall looking that up, but it'll sell. It'll sell for $6. And boy, that's hard to ship, isn't it? You throw it in a bubble wrap and you mail it. Oh, you want to make sure you mail the hardware with it. So the little screw and washer that comes off whenever you take the legs off and the handles off, you want to have those with each replacement part. But there are 5 legs, so that's 5 times 8, $35. The power cord's going to bring $30. The long handle's going to bring $10. The little knob on top's going to bring $6. The other side handle, the stubby handle, it's going to bring $8. I mean, we're talking about making far more on this skillet if I part it out than if we sell the skillet and everything else. So what am I going to do? Well, she's going to try to clean it real fast. If it cleans nicely, we'll probably just sell the whole thing. One listing, yeah, we got to deal with shipping, a little hard to ship, kind of a weird long-handled item thing, but that's okay. We can do that. What I'll probably do is get a bubble mailer, a bubble wrap roll. We buy bubble wraps in large rolls, and they come with a cardboard tube in the center. Probably I'll put that tube over that handle to protect the handle in transit and wrap it real well in bubble wrap, and it'll ship fine. It's not really fragile. You just want to make sure that handle doesn't break or come through your box, and that's why that cardboard tube over it from a roll of bubble wrap would be good protection for that handle. Should you pick up electric skillets? Yeah, that's a good general category for you to pick up. Should they be name brand? Yeah, they should be name brand. Don't get some off brand. And there are only like 5 brands that were really popular. Again, Farberware, GE, you're gonna recognize the brands, even if you're a man like me. You'll recognize the brands, and if not, look up the top 5 brands that sell used on eBay and you're going to find them. Why did I pick up this skillet? Not because I knew this skillet was going to bring far more than $1.50, okay? I'm turning $1.50 to at least $60, at least 60. I don't think that's a bad deal. And without a whole lot of cleaning, because if it's a whole lot of cleaning, I'm just going to unscrew 8 screws and sell everything as a part. Now, it means I've got to create more listings, but that's not a big deal. And I'll make more by parting it out than if we clean it and sell it as one, but it'll be easier to sell it as one unit. So we'll just see how it goes. That's why I bought this. I didn't look up the price on my phone. I would never do that for something like this. I know that I'm either going to sell the skillet or I'm going to part it out. What if it didn't have the power cord? I probably would have bought it for $1.50. Probably. Someone would buy this for $25 without a power cord. Or I would just sell the legs and the handles and the feet. But I want you to kind of start thinking in terms of, can I part it out whenever you're sourcing for things? Can I sell the parts for more than the whole as a whole? And often it's yes, especially when it comes to these types of kitchen appliances.